and move forward. Yeah, so just a reminder, please make sure that your cameras are off and your mics are on mute. So this is indeed the second webinar.
I think you muted yourself.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I think someone must have muted everyone, but yeah, so hopefully I didn't miss too much. This is the second of 3 webinars in the Get Ready, Get Hired Job and Volunteer Fair web series, webinar series. So thank you for joining us today. This is navigating the Get Ready, Get Hired Job and Volunteer Fair. And the first thing I would like to do is our territorial acknowledgement. We at Kwantlen Polytechnic University respectfully acknowledge that we live, work, and study in a region that overlaps with the unceded traditional and ancestral First Nations territories of the Musqueam, Katzie, Semiahmoo, Tsawwassen, Kikite, and Coquitlam, and with the lands of the Kwantlen First Nation, which gifted its name to this university. In the cause of reconciliation, we recognize our commitment to address and reduce ongoing systemic colonialism, oppression, and racism that Indigenous peoples continue to experience. And so perhaps you already know this information, but it is important to know about the other services that the Career Development Center offers to you, to KPU students and alumni, and that includes career services, volunteer services, cooperative education, employer relations, and part of those services include drop-in options. The days and times are there, in-person and virtual career advising appointments. So you can make those appointments through Advisor Connect. And of course, a plethora of other services that you can go ahead and scan that QR code in order to find all the great services we provide and the excellent resources that we provide you as well. Please do follow us on social media, particularly for our draw at on Friday the 22nd at KPU CDC on Instagram. So if for no other reason, you know, but to get a prize. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on. And so the final webinar that we'll have in this series is interviews, and that one is taking place after Get Ready, Get Hired. So it's next Thursday, September 21st, same place, same time, online from 12 till 1 p.m. So hopefully you will register for that and join me for that final webinar. Of course, this is all leading up to our big event, Get Ready, Get Hired. We have, I think, last I checked, I think there's about 40 employers, around the 40 mark anyways, that are attending this event on Tuesday, September 19th. This is at KPU Surrey campus from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. And their goal in attending this event is to hire you. So show up, right? I'm really happy that you are here today because we're going to talk about that exactly, tips and tricks and ways that you can stand out from your peers. So we're going to go ahead and I don't know, actually, Vish, do we have access to the poll, or am I going to just put this question out to attendees?
I would say put the question out to the attendees for now.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, no problem. So Vish is going to keep an eye on the chat. So I would like to know, have you ever attended an in-person job fair before? So in the past, we did pivot to online, but now we're back in person. So I'm curious, have you ever attended, not necessarily here at KPU, but out in the community or elsewhere, have you ever attended an in-person job fair before? So we'll give it a few seconds, and Vish, I'll get you to keep an eye on the chat to see how many of our lovely attendees have attended a job fair before.
It's like, no, there's a couple yeses so far, but most of them are a no.
Okay,
no,
good.
Yeah.
Well, not good, but you've come to the right place is what I'm trying to say. So a lot
No,
of no's.
no, yeah, there's only about 3 yeses so far, and there's about 15 to 20 responses. So, yes, guys,
Okay.
that's what we're here for today. That's what we're here for
That's what
today.
we're here for, Vish. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, this is really great. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you've taken the time out of your day, and I'm happy that you're giving us your lunch hour so that we can explore this topic together. So what I'll be doing really is I'm breaking it up into 3 steps: the before, the during, and the after. So in that, we're going to break it up into 8 tips within those 3 steps. And this is what we're going to be covering. Before the big day, so things that you can do in order to prepare and really help to stand out. That does include developing a very quick intro pitch. Now, if you've heard the concept before of a pitch, of a networking pitch, an elevator pitch, this one's a little shorter because you're at a career fair or a job fair, and so there's lots happening and so forth. So you really do want to make sure that your pitch is a little bit quicker in this context. So we'll cover that as well. Also, how to engage and be memorable at the actual event itself. And so we'll be talking about a few tips around what to do during, and then some actions that you can take after the event to ensure that you continue to stand out. And we're going to open it up for questions and answers. So any questions that you have that you might develop throughout the process of today's webinar, please do go ahead and type it in the chat. And if you can just preface it with a Q, so that Vish knows that that is indeed a question, and that would be great. So we're going to leave questions till the very end, but feel free to type them into the chat at any time during today's webinar. Okay, I have another one for you. So my question is, why are you attending the Get Ready, Get Hired job and volunteer fair? So why are you attending? And if you can just respond in the chat with one of these. So the first one is to find an immediate job. Is it to network? Is it to practice talking to employers, or is it some other reason? And if it's another reason, feel free to type that into the chat as well. And we'll give this one's a little longer because you actually have to type something longer than yes or no. So we'll give it about 15 seconds. So why are you attending the fair? Is it to find a job? Is it to network? Is it to practice just talking to employers, or is there some other reason that you would love to share with us?
Yeah, we've had about 7 responses so far, and 6 of them are to find a job, and one of them is to network and to practice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. All of them. Nice.
Yeah. All of the above. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah. Network, mostly all of them. Network.
Oh, good. Good, good, good.
And to survive. Okay. So I'm assuming to find an immediate job.
To find that survival job. I hear you. Yeah. About another
Perfect.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Everyone, I would highly recommend you to sign up for the Get Ready, Get Hired and show up, and all of the above. You'll get all of the above.
You'll get all of the above. Absolutely. Okay, good. Great. This is great. It's good intel for me just to kind of know what everyone's focusing on, what your needs are, and so forth. Okay, so in 8 steps, the first 4 steps are things that you can do before the big day in order to help you prepare for the actual event, especially for you folks that have never attended a job fair before. This is such an excellent opportunity for you to communicate with employers. And it's a very relaxed environment. The employers that are coming, they're very open. That's why they're there. And so they're really open to having a conversation with you, to answering the great questions you might have about what it's like to work for their company or what kinds of positions they might be hiring for. But the first thing, let's go back to you for a second, because the first thing really that you want to do in preparation for any fair is to first know what you need. What do you need? What kind of job do you want? I understand that many of you are looking for a job, but there are characteristics about the job that might be really, really helpful to you in terms of flexibility, Location. Maybe you want to think about places that you yourself like to shop at.
Chantal, you got muted again.
Not sure how that happened. I don't know how far I was in there. Vish, can you, how far was I muted for?
Just like for 2 to 3 seconds, so we didn't miss much. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Good. So yeah, so you might want to, target places where you yourself shop so that you can take advantage of those really great employee discounts, which kind of brings your hourly wage up a little bit. What do you want? What do you need in a job? Are you looking for a flexible schedule, location, something that's close to home or close to campus? What kind of skills are you looking to use, or what kind of skills are you looking to gain? Right? So I want you to ask yourself those questions, and rather than just jumping into any job that can pay the bills, that can help you pay the bills, why not jump into a job that can help you pay the bills, that can also bring other value to your life as well? All right, number 2, identify companies that are attending and the roles that they're hiring for. So I put a QR code there. This is going to send you over to Career Connection that has the entire list of the companies that are attending. From there, you can hop over to their website and have a look to see what kinds of jobs they might be hiring for, so that you can really strategize the conversations that you'll have with these particular employers. And in the next step, number 3, you can then prepare a customized resume and cover letter for each company that you're looking to target. That will really make the employer feel special, right? You want to woo the employer. If you've seen me do webinars before, I say that term, you want to woo the employer. They want to feel as though you only have eyes for them. And so by doing that, you might want to develop a customized resume and cover letter that's written just for them, right? So of course, hopefully there was a group of you that in today's webinar that attended Tuesday's webinar on resumes and cover letters, and you got a few tips there. And you also, of course, got a QR code in order to download our resume and cover letter toolkit that can help you with number 3, and that's prepare. Prepare for the actual day by putting together that customized resume and cover letter for each company you want to target based on the roles that they are hiring for. If you know that they're attending the hiring fair, but you go onto their website and there's actually no positions listed, why not reach out to them? Introduce yourself as a KPU student. Let them know you're super excited to meet them at the hiring fair on Tuesday, but ask them what kind of positions they might be hiring for so you can prepare ahead of time. Letting them know, of course, that it's because you're not seeing any particular positions posted on their website. So feel free to do that as well. All right, number 4. Number 4 is prepare and practice your intro pitch. Okay, your intro pitch. This is a marketing term because that's what you're doing. You're marketing yourself, you're promoting yourself to the employers that you're wanting to connect with. Now, how do you do that? Like this. So as I mentioned before, this is not so much a formal networking event where you're going to have a whole lot of one-on-one time with prospective employers. It's a pretty fast-paced fair. There's going to be lots of students wanting to communicate with that particular employer as well. And so you really do want to take your networking or elevator pitch down from the standard 30 seconds to about 15 seconds. And how do we do that? Well, as long as it has these 4 components, you're covering all your bases. So greeting and your name. Okay, so very quick, greeting and your name, the position that you're interested in applying for, a brief summary of your relevant experience or skills, and you want to wrap it up with a call to action, so a question. And what does that look like, you might be wondering? Well, here it is in action, really simple. If I say it out now, it's probably much less than 15 seconds, but here it is. So you're at the busy hiring fair, you see the employer that you're interested in chatting with, you know the position that they're hiring for, this is your opportunity. Hi, I'm Chantal. It's great to meet you. I understand that ABC is hiring customer service representatives. I really enjoy customer service and have about a year of experience. I also speak English and French. What's the best way to apply? So we wrap it up with a nice call to action, right? You want to make sure that you're saying it in a way that is natural and comfortable for you and that you're not necessarily speaking too quickly. So pretty simple. I'm going to go back. Make sure that you have these 4 components: greeting and your name, the position that you're interested in because you've done your research, right? A brief summary of your relevant skills and or experience, and a question. And the question is typically, what's the best way to apply? I might suggest that you avoid walking up to a table and asking them, hey, what does your company do? Or what kind of jobs do you have? Do you have anything for me? I'm an accounting student or I'm a sociology student. What do you have that would be relevant for me? I would strongly recommend that you avoid that. Take the opportunity to introduce yourself in a way that is very clear, concise, confident, and lets them know that you've researched them. Right? As soon as you let them know that you've researched them and you know what they do and you know what they're hiring for, you've piqued their interest, apart from the student that might ask these questions. So all of you here today know not to approach a table and ask that. You are one up against those students that chose not to come to today's webinar. Congratulations to you. Okay, so we're moving from before the event to during the event. So during the event, you want to engage and you want to be memorable. So if you've already taken the 4 tips from before and you've applied those by researching the company, putting together, a customized resume and cover letter, you have already stood out. You're already above the rest. But during the actual event, you also want to take into account a couple of considerations. Number 1, you want to make sure that you're dressed nicely. Now, this is not Career Day. For those of you that don't know, Career Day is another hiring fair that takes place in March, and it's hosted by us, the Career Development Center. And that one's a little bit more geared towards the professional job search. So it might be targeting those people that are just about to graduate or maybe entering their final, second to last or final year of their time at KPU, or even alumni. So they're slightly more professional level, not only, but a little bit more geared towards that. Get Ready, Get Hired is for, well, it's for that person that commented before when they said they're attending the fair for survival. That's what it's for. It's for those survival jobs. The job that you might want while you're studying at KPU. So we're not looking for uber formal here, but you want to make sure that you're dressed nicely, that the clothes that you're wearing look tidy and neat, and of course that you feel comfortable in them. You want to make sure that you develop that pitch so that you can communicate with them in a way that's confident and sure. You want to be sure of yourself, right? Speak clearly and not too quickly. You also want to make sure it's very loud there. So you want to make sure you're removing those AirPods beforehand, and you might need to lean in order to listen to the employer. Listen intently. Feel free to take some notes even, right? If you can grab their business card, great. Maintain eye contact. Don't be creepy about it, but maintain eye contact with them and smile. Make sure that you're letting them know that you're really interested and you're happy to be there and you're happy that they're there as well. All right. So during the actual event, engage and be memorable, dress nicely, look the part. Don't just kind of stumble into the fair. Plan to be there. Plan to be there. So here it is. In case you were wondering, I'm sure you all already know this anyways, but it's at the Spruce Atrium on the KPU Surrey main campus. And you can see where it's located and what the map of the actual event will look like. Right, so the tables, for those of you that have never been to a fair, this is really helpful to see that it's going to essentially be a group of about 40 or so tables spread out throughout the actual space. There you are. there you are with your smile and your about to get hired self. Okay, so my final tip before we move into the third, so that's the after component of get ready, get hired. Don't leave yet. Once you've done the rounds, you've communicated with the employers, the ones that you're particularly interested in, and even the ones that you didn't think you would be interested in, but you chose to talk to. Maybe you've grabbed some business cards. Perhaps in some cases, you even left a resume and a cover letter, which isn't necessary, by the way. It's not necessary for you to print out a resume and a cover letter. It's very likely you can wait to apply separately from that. But if you happen to be speaking to an employer, and let's say actually the ones that you contacted ahead of time to find out which positions they're hiring for, you can also ask them, will you be accepting actual resumes and cover letters at the event? Some will, some won't. They prefer to do it online. But for those that say they do, it might be nice to have a resume and cover letter printed out that have been customized specifically for them. Once you've done all that really, really great stuff, you've done your pitch and you're feeling really great about yourself, don't leave. Don't leave yet. You want to make sure that you go back and revisit the ones that you're particularly interested in. Go back, remind them that you're interested in them, right? Thank them for piquing your interest and for taking the time to attend KPU's fair. Maybe even point out something in particular that you really enjoyed hearing about, or something about the interaction that that you particularly enjoyed, and then let them know that you plan on applying, right? And if it was due to this conversation that you had with them, then let them know. That would be really valuable information for them to know, right? That them taking the time to come to this event has actually prompted you to apply to that particular company after the fact that you've had that conversation with them. All right, so wrapping things up with taking action. So within 24 hours of the event, for those companies that you've decided, absolutely, I'm so interested in applying for them, do it immediately within 24 hours of the event. If you can, if you have their contact information, and perhaps it wasn't even in the form of a business card, but maybe you wrote it down, send them an email to let them know, remind them who you are. Maybe you could say, I was the one who, right? Where you met, of course, at the hiring fair. Let them know that perhaps due to the conversation you had, that you have decided you're going to apply for a particular position. Let them know which position you're going to be applying for and why. And then it's very likely you'll need to do it through their applicant tracking system, right? So it's through their actual website where you need to apply. But it's a good idea if you could just let them know by email that that they piqued your interest so much that you're going to go ahead and hop over to the website and apply for that particular job. So let them know that it was definitely beneficial for them to attend the Get Ready, Get Hired job and volunteer fair because it piqued your interest and you're now going to be applying. All right, so a few takeaways from what we've covered today. Number one, and this one, I mean, I think they're all really important, but I think sometimes this one gets overlooked a lot because we're in such need of a job when we're a student, right? That we overlook the importance of us and what our needs are. So know what you want in a job. Apart from a paycheck, know what you want in a job from that particular company before you just jump in and apply anywhere. Research who's going to be there and what they're hiring for. Again, all this information is on Career Connection. There's a whole list of employers there, and you can hop over to their website to see what kinds of positions they're hiring for. If it's not listed on their website, feel free to reach out to them. If they're coming to Get Ready, Get Hired, it means they're an engaged employer. And I would strongly suggest you reach out to them, let them know you're excited to meet them at the fair. but note that you haven't seen any actual job postings on their website, and you're just curious what kinds of positions they'll be hiring for. Prepare a simple pitch, right? 15 seconds at most, 4 components. Keep it nice and simple, but it has all the information that they need. Stand out, show them that you've done your research, revisit them before you leave, right? So take notes and then revisit them before you leave, and don't wait too long to apply. Now, before we go into questions and answers, well, hopefully answers, but questions, I'm curious to know, those of you that had attended Tuesday's webinar of resumes and cover letters, if you can write in the chat there some or a key takeaway that you had from the resume and cover letter webinar on Tuesday. So for those of you that attended that webinar, I'm curious about a key takeaway that you had, something in particular that you learned, you didn't know, or maybe it confirmed something that you already knew. So go ahead and write that in the chat. And Vish, I'll just get you to keep an eye on the chat and see what kind of information is coming in. Tell me about those takeaways or a takeaway that you had from Tuesday's resume and cover letter webinar.
So far, we have no responses. Is there anyone that was on our who was on our Tuesday webinar?
Yeah, that's the next question. Tuesday's webinar on resumes and cover letters. Who here attended that one?
Yeah, there's one that says they like the insights for writing cover letter that were really helpful. That was really helpful for them.
Right. And I think there's someone named Dan with their hand up. If you want to unmute your mic, Dan, and that'd be fine.
Actually, I was just raising my hand to attending the webinar on Tuesday.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
So just acknowledging attending the webinar on Tuesday.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, not a whole lot of input there. Well, hopefully, if you want, if you feel as though you've missed some important information, feel free to rewatch maybe that webinar on YouTube. It is on our YouTube channel, as our previous webinars as well. Okay, so hopefully you all stuck around until the end, because your name will now be entered into a draw to win a Starbucks gift card. So same thing, all the webinars. So on Tuesday, it's the same idea. Your name would go into a draw. Today, same thing. And then the interview webinar next week as well. So your name will be put into a draw. Now at the actual event at Get Ready, Get Hired, you will notice as you're walking around that there's a QR code. You can scan that QR code and fill in a very brief form, and this will put you into the draw for our main prizes. And the prizes include tuition waivers, Guilford Town Center gift card, and Shocks headphones. So you need to register for Get Ready, Get Hired and attend the actual event, and you'll be able to scan those. There'll be QR codes kind of posted throughout the event, so you can scan those and make sure that you are put into our draw to win some great prizes. And that draw will be on Friday, September 22nd at 3 p.m. It's on Instagram Live, which is at KPU CDC. So please do follow us on Instagram so you can be part of that, and hopefully hear your name to win some lovely prizes. All right, so we're going to leave it there, and I will open it up to any questions. So Vish, I don't know if you have seen any questions come into the chat, but please do type in your questions if you do have any. And I'm going to stop sharing now.
I had about 5 to 6 questions here. The first one being, do we bring our resumes to the event?
That's a really good question to ask. For the most part, the employers are probably expecting you to apply online. But if there are a few employers that you're not really sure, I would go ahead and put together a resume and a cover letter for them. They'll very likely accept it and maybe prompt you to go and apply online as well. So some employers might accept them in person. I would suspect most would accept job applications after the fair.
Perfect. And the other one was, is Get Ready, Get Hired for on-campus jobs or general jobs outside the campus?
That's typically outside of KPU, and it could also include some co-op positions as well. If you want to learn more about on-campus opportunities, you can always have a look on our website, kpu.ca/careers, and you can find out information about on-campus jobs like student assistant positions and work study positions. And of course, you can always make an appointment with a career coach, either myself or Michelle Matyson, and we can talk to you about on-campus opportunities and really great, effective ways to apply for those to really stand out.
The other question was, what if we cannot make it to the event? Is there another event coming up for jobs?
So then the next hiring fair that we have would be actually it's the tech fair on the Cloverdale campus, but it's a little bit more geared towards the folks over at the Cloverdale campus. But if you can't make it to this particular event, but you're interested in some of the employers, you can absolutely still connect with those employers directly. So you might scan the QR code that I put out there, or just hop on Career Connection to search for the employers that are attending these events. Have a look to see if there's any opportunities that you'd like to apply for. And if you see something, maybe consider sending the employer a quick message to let them know that you were unable to make the event, but you were, really interested in working with them and that you're going to be applying for whatever role it is, and then go ahead and apply for that.
Perfect. I also saw Leon had their hand raised up. Would you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Oh, yes. Hi. So my question is, do the companies hire for part-time job positions? Because most international students are just limited to like 20 hours of work.
Thanks, Leon. Great question. Yes, actually, a lot of the employers that are coming to Get Ready, Get Hired are hiring for part-time positions. So as I mentioned before, Get Ready, Get Hired is a little bit more geared towards students that need that part-time position while they're studying, whereas Career Day in March is a little bit more geared towards someone who might be soon graduating or an actual graduate, and they might be a little bit more professional level, more full-time. So there's definitely going to be a combination of part-time and full-time opportunities available at this particular fair. Great question.
Perfect. And then I had 2 people ask the same question, which was, how can I share my resumes and cover letter to employers at the event?
Yeah, so you can certainly print it out, right? You can put together a great customized resume and cover letter and offer it to them at the actual event. And they will either accept it or they'll let you know that it's best to apply online. And if that's the case, you're all good to go. You've already put together, a good resume and cover letter. So basically it'll just mean you going and doing that. But you might be able to take the opportunity to ask them about specific things that they look for on a resume or in a cover letter. And that great intel will allow you to update your resume and cover letter before you upload it into their system.
And then we had a question that said, how do we connect with the employers online?
How do you connect with the employers online? Okay, so on Career Connection, in that list of employers that are attending the event, you can also view their contacts. And so that might be a great way. You can reach directly out to the contacts that are listed that are connected with that employer on Career Connection. send them a brief email and let them know that you are perhaps, right, it was really great to meet with them and you'll be applying. Or if it's leading up to the event and you go onto the corporate website or the company website and you don't see any particular job posted, look to see if there is a contact connected with that employer on Career Connection and reach out to them explaining that you're excited to see them at the hiring fair, but you've noted that there's no position actually posted on the website and that you're wondering what positions they will be hiring for. So oftentimes employers, if they attend any events at KPU, whether it's through any of our hiring fairs, or perhaps they've come on campus to table and present information about the company to students, whatever kind of capacity, their information is going to be under the Employers tab in Career Connection. You can click on that, and then once you go into the employer profile, you can click on Contacts, and it's typically that would be the person that you would contact.
Thank you. And another amazing question is, if our main purpose is to network rather than finding a job immediately, are there any tips on how we can approach the employers instead of focusing the conversation around particular position?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you would first need to identify what it is you're looking for in that networking interaction, right? So are you looking for future prospects? Are you like, what is your purpose in networking with those particular employers? And once you can identify what that purpose is, then that will help guide you in terms of how you can connect with them. So you might, in this case, say you're looking for information about future prospects with that company. You might then go to them, introduce yourself, introduce what it is you're studying, and that you were wondering if there is a way to find out more information about future opportunities in this particular department. Right. And so in that case, they might invite you to reach out to someone a recruiter perhaps, who specializes in that department. They might encourage you to reach out to someone who's actually working in that department where you can conduct information meetings. But the best thing is to first establish why you want to network with that particular company.
Perfect. And then I had two people ask the same question again. Is it possible for someone who resumed this semester to apply?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm happy. Welcome to KPU. I'm happy that you will be attending this hiring fair. This hiring fair is for any student that's interested in working while they're studying. So whether you're a first year or whether you're alumni, you are welcome to come to this hiring fair and score yourself a job. Right?
Amazing. And then this question, I'm pretty sure a lot of international students would have the same. I don't have any experience in Canada. Will my experiences in my home country help me find a job here? For a part-time job, should I choose a job that is easy to find, or should I find a job that's related to the field of my study but has a low chance of being accepted?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question, very common question, and I completely understand where you're coming from. Please do put your international experience on your resume. Your experience is your experience, and it's valuable. So please do put it on there. Now, the second part of your question was, should I be looking for a position that is just kind of any position, something that kind of pays the bills, or should I be looking for a position that's kind of related to what I'm studying? I think if you ask this question to employers, you will commonly get this response. Those survival jobs, the jobs that you might find at Get Ready, Get Hired, that actually have nothing to do with your future career prospects, are so incredibly valuable because they usually include working with a team, working within a schedule, right? Multitasking that part-time job with your full-time studies, customer interaction, communication, all these really great transferable skills that employers often look for can be developed or at least strengthened with those part-time jobs that might not necessarily have anything to do with your future career prospects. So I definitely encourage those those McDonald's jobs, those customer service jobs, a part-time job in any kind of realm apart from your career direction is highly valuable.
Also, everybody who's asking about the previous webinar, it's on our YouTube channel, and we'll just drop the link in the chat as well for you guys. Another question we had is there a high success rate of students who applied and got hired?
I actually don't have that information, but I would say it's more successful for students that had the opportunity to communicate face to face. Any opportunity you have to communicate face to face to prospective employers it will automatically put you in the higher running than one who simply applies through the website without that previous engagement. So I strongly encourage, whether it's this particular hiring fair or another one, any opportunity you can to meet face to face with prospective employers, please do it.
That brings me to the end of the questions in the chat. Is there any more questions? Please ask away.
Yeah, if you don't want to type, feel free to just unmute your mic and ask the question. All right. Well, I think that might bring us to the end of the second webinar in our webinar series. Please do make sure that you've registered for Get Ready, Get Hired. And also, when you attend the actual event, don't forget to scan the QR code so that your name can be put into the draw for all the great prizes. The next webinar that we'll be hosting is interviews, and that will be next Thursday between 12 and 1 p.m. Make sure to register and attend that one. So again, your name can be put into the draw for one of the Starbucks gift cards. And we thank you all for your time today. And we thank you all for your patience as we were figuring out some technical glitches earlier. But your time here today is so valuable. I look forward to seeing you all at the Get Ready, Get Hired Job and Volunteer Fair next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.